warming and the scenario, sustainability is no longer a choice. It has become a bare necessity. It's not good to have, it's a must have. So we seek to democratize access to clean energy, accelerate decarbonization, and build a greener planet. We seek a strategic integration of environmental, social, and ethical principles into a digital marketplace. So, what do you mean by environmental, social, ethical principles? What do you mean by democratization? What do we try to achieve by accelerating the process of adoption of clean energy? So, let's talk about it today. So, let me quickly introduce the team. As you can see, I'm Abhinandan. I head the team. I'm the CEO and co-founder. Mr. Subrata Dasgupta is our CFO and co-founder. He has more than two decades of experience in finance, held many portfolios, is a strategic thinker. So he will talk more about sustainability today. Mr. Amit Anand is here. So he is a global leader in human resources. He has spent decades in different companies in different portfolios. You can always read a short bio on LinkedIn profiles are already provided for all of us to go through. Let me introduce Mr. Bhaskar Roy. He's our CTO. He has more than 30 years of experience in technology, development, and strategy. He has co-founded many companies and is a graduate of IIT Kharagpur. So we are the leadership team of Verdesun. So let me hand over to Mr. Subrata Dasgupta for continuing on talking about sustainability in terms of what Verdesun envisages.
Thank you, Avi. Thank you. So, sustainability. Once again, let's fix this problem.
I think we lost the fish to be around.
Okay. I hope I'm audible to all.
Yes. Pratis, give me a thumbs up if you're able to hear Dada.
Unmute. Yeah. So,
Speaker.
I'm on mute. Okay, I think I got it. Am I audible? I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
Okay. So, introduction to sustainability and challenges faced. This is as we think about Verdesun. In Verdesun, as we think sustainability is. So, what we are looking at is a strategic integration of the environmental, social, and ethical principles in the digital marketplace. So, what we are trying to do is basically when we talk about a digital marketplace, we talk about only buying and selling. In Verdesun, what we are trying to do is we are trying to strategically integrate the environmental, social, and ethical aspects of business also into the digital marketplace, which will obviously enable the promotion, discovery, and transaction of products and services, without which there will be no marketplace actually. So that is where we are coming in. And I think our final vision would be to minimize the negative impact and maximize the positive contributions to people and planet. So this is how we in Verdesun see sustainability, and as we move forward, we'll also look at the challenges faced. Now, why are we talking about sustainability now? Like we are in a world where e-commerce and marketplace is in abundance. There are so many sort of marketplaces around. But why sustainability all of a sudden? Why are we talking about sustainability? Firstly, when we look at, obviously, when we talk about everything, money, profit, margins come first, right? That is where we all talk about investors. Well, the first thing when we think about investors is what are investor expectations from our business? Why would somebody invest in our business? An investor need not be a VC for that matter. It would be the shareholders, all the stakeholders. It could be the owners of the organization. It could be the customers who are actually investing in the company. It could be the vendors who are invested in your company. So when we talk investor expectations, it is all around. It's not just a person who's just putting in money from an investing perspective. So board level accountability on ESG issues is something which is coming up. Like at the board of directors level, ESG is a major accountability issue which is coming up as we see from regulatory pressures, from investor pressures, and all other sort of stakeholder expectations. We have to keep reporting climate risk assessment and emissions, and that is what investors at every level expects us to do, right? We have to integrate our sustainability into long-term growth plans, since innovation of and also innovation of products and processes. So when we talk about integration of sustainability in long-term growth plans, when we spoke about long-term growth plans, it was always restricted to margins, it was restricted to growth of sales and all that. But now the impact on sustainability on the earth has become a very valid factor, and which is a very sort of important factor when we talk about sustainability in that long-term growth. And there are also points that we will see as we come up, like where these long-term growths are impacted. Cost savings. Today, what we have seen is energy efficiency, waste reduction, and process optimization. These are all factors where we have to actually sort of maximize our margins. When we talk about maximizing our margins, it is our cost comes from various aspects. Previously, we used to talk about only the cost of inputs, but right now, when we see the process efficiencies, reduction of waste, those are aspects which are like big contributors to cost efficiencies. Finally, we have the lower risk of exposure due to climate regulations, which is an upcoming and mandatory, which we'll see in the next point actually, where climate regulation is becoming a big thing about governments which are pursuing litigations as a result of non-pursuance of such regulation, and when you don't pursue these rules, and of course resource scarcity, which we'll talk about at the last point of this why now aspect. Regulatory mandates, current and future, as we see, like BRSR is already a mandate in India. And as we go forward, India is already moving towards a carbon market where each and every stakeholder in a business, whether you have the ability to be sustainable or not, I'm talking physically, would be mandated to have by a carbon market mechanism, a carbon trading mechanism, would be aligned to the India's net zero targets. Double materiality is already we are talking about in European Union. It's already become compulsory under CSRD. Anti-greenwashing laws are being pushed very hard in the European Union, and it's going to spread throughout the world as we see. SEC in US has already sort of brought out climate disclosure rules where we follow IFRS. ISSB is an important standard for in US as well as globally, where IFRS is followed as a mandate. A lot of countries are following suit. I don't want to explain about all the countries here, but these are just examples how mandatory regulatory features are going to shape our business futures. Operational resilience and risk mitigation requirements. We need to build resilient assets. What do you mean by resilient assets? Basically, assets or infrastructure which are resilient to climate change. Climate change, in fact, has been impacting our businesses for a long time. Now we talk about climate disasters like we had a few days ago in Myanmar, and we had also in Bangkok, Thailand. So we have to build assets, which I think Japan is a pioneer in. I'm just bringing out examples here, not to like take away anything from anyone. So building resilient assets is actually a very important part of operational resilience or risk mitigation as we see from a sustainability perspective. We have to build energy efficient, low carbon and climatic impact resistance to all our infrastructure. It has to be introduced into all our infrastructure. Supply chains are a very essential part of our business, and as we go forward, building sustainable supply chains is a very important one. And of course, where it is not sustainable, where when we see that supply chains are breaking down, building alternatives to those disruptions are very important for the business continuity perspective. Finally, what we are seeing is increasingly finance and investment policies are being governed by the sustainability of an organization. So an investor, a prospective investor, would see what is the sustainability impact of your organization. Sustainability scorecards are being regularly monitored by sustainability, the finance companies and insurance company as a mandate, not as something like which they do voluntarily. So getting finance and insurance policies at good cost, at lower cost, would be actually mandated under sustainability. Finally, we come to the ethical part of sustainability, where we have to address social risks like child labor, working conditions, discrimination, diversity, and so on. So if we have all heard about ESG, so ESG, the middle S, is all about social risk of ESG, which is an important factor of doing business. And if I think the last 3 points are not sort of heavy enough, climate urgency and environmental degradation, the air we breathe, cities are choking in their own smog. So that is where air we breathe comes in. It's a basic requirement of living, actually. The water we consume, pollution, the groundwater depletion. So these are like environmental degradation that we are having. The land we live on, we are seeing increasingly like land being reclaimed by the sea, the rivers, what we see in Wayanad last year. That was a result of climate degradation. Land is being reclaimed by nature. And finally, the food we eat. So obviously, the food that we eat, the wars in the future will be all about scarcity of food, scarcity of water. It will not be about gold or money. It would be about scarcity of basic resources to live on. So that is where climate urgency and environmental degradation come in. Move to the next. So challenges. When we talk about challenges, what the world is facing and what businesses are facing primarily, and which we in Verdesun would be happy if we could actually address even 1% of this, and that is what our vision is. Shift to sustainable energy. Basically, every business is trying to shift to sustainable energy, and that is, previously that was a wish, now it's a mandate and a business requirement. Retrofitting existing infrastructure and building new infrastructure which is tuned to sustainable needs. These things are challenges due to the lack of organized and standardized market structure. We are seeing increasingly fragmented because this market is in a very nascent stage. We are seeing a fragmentation of the market, which basically of the vendor structures of the customers, where flow of information, free flow of information, informed decisions are at a discount. We do not have that properly. So this is where we think is the biggest challenge that we see. Similarly, to follow up access to sustainable sourcing and new markets, it's a follow-up of the previous one. There is a very restricted access because not all countries or all markets have access to sustainable sourcing. So new markets are opening up, but not the customers don't know about it. There's lack of information or networking between these two, or the connection points are not available. Lack of sustainability, supplier ESG scorecards and traceability tools, blockchain tracking. This is a very important aspect. Like when we actually decide on our vendors or what we are building as a product, we talk about the concept of cradle to grave. What is the impact of my product from cradle to grave on sustainability? Do we have enough traceability tools to actually build that sort of the ESG life cycle of that particular product? And if do we have a blockchain tracking which can actually enable this entire thing to be tracked, and there is a sort of a knowledge security which actually is built around this traceability. So that is where the lack of supplier ESG scorecard and traceability tools come in, and that is again something that we would look forward to address in from Verdesun aspect. Lack of information on recycling process and sourcing. So as we see increasingly the resources what we have are limited. The requirement is many. So that is where recycling comes in. Recycling is also in a very nascent sort of structure in the business environment. We don't have too many sort of recycling processes in place. So that is where like we would like to bring in people from recycling industry into our platform. AI powered recommendations. So whenever we think like some of us say that it is a much used word, AI at the moment. How do we bring in AI into our greener solutions where we can use actually AI to build AI powered recommendations for green sourcing and manufacturing, which will actually enable the lack of knowledge to be powered by our AI powered recommendations. Verified and standardized sustainable product labeling. So this is an area basically which is actually I would not say which is very new to us, but standardized sustainable product labeling is something which is upcoming, where you actually get to verify your product labeling, right? Where the product labeling determines your sort of extent of sustainability in the market. Need to optimize energy, water, and raw materials, like we spoke about, and why sustainability now in the fourth point. Obviously, raw materials, water, and energy, the optimization of its use, because it's a very scarce resource. Too many people fighting for too less. Risk of prospective compliance cost and penalties due to greenwashing. So when we see that compliance cost is becoming a mandate, basically a mandate where the regulatory frameworks are demanding compliances, and not following up on those compliances is becoming an important factor, or would be an important cost factor for businesses going forward. Moreover, we would be seeing like a lot of businesses like which would be doing greenwashing. Greenwashing is ideally showing yourself to be too good when you're not, from a sustainable perspective. So that would also have an impact on the compliance cost in the future. So while you might not be doing greenwashing, it would be the greenwashing would be actually something which will be sort of restricted by your suppliers. So your suppliers' impact of greenwashing could actually fall on you. Carbon offset integration. Not everybody can actually have a solar powered sort of infrastructure, or they might not be able to plant trees. So this is where carbon offset integration would actually come in the future. Finally, the absence of impact calculators and real-time analytics available freely to the market, to the customers, to the vendors is a deterrent to sustainability transactions. So we need to have impact calculators, we need to have real-time analytics at our fingertips, at the base level, at the customer's level, by which we can actually overcome this lack of information, so that customer can take informed decisions. So these are basically the challenges that we see as Verdesun. Good news, ESG, 40 trillion in asset under management in 2023, projected 100 trillion by 2030. These are average numbers. There are like lot of numbers in the market, so we have taken an average of what we see, because it's very difficult to arrive at what is actually the AUM. But even if we say that this is, say, we give it a margin of error of say 70 to 80%, 1% of this market would be a huge market available to a company like us, and that is would be our target also. We will be looking forward to capture that sort of market. ESG compliant companies, as we go along, would show better long-term performance. So that would encourage people to actually move towards ESG and sustainability. Obviously, we have spoken enough about regulatory-driven growth and mandates in ESG and green infrastructure. That will obviously drive the business forward in the future. Financing and insurance costs, we have spoken earlier about how in the investing sector and the insurance costs are being driven by ESG scores. And this is where finance and insurance costs, which are a significant percentage of any business, would be driven by sustainability scores. Of course, growing demand for sustainable products and ethical expectations. Previously, sustainability was more sort of a living room concept. We thought it's an activist sort of concept, but now increasingly it has come to life. Basically, we talk it in the boardrooms as well. Our balance sheets are driven by this. So that is where like ethical expectations are moving from the living rooms to the boardrooms. Finally, this is the part that we were talking about, product batching and sustainability filters, where the filters are not based just on the products or type of products or the capacity of the products. We can actually batch and create filters as per the sustainability score of the products. And this is where also we would like to come in and sort of determine the base of our products. So I think that's it from my side.
Okay. Thank you, Subrata. So, Mr. Subrata spoke about the sustainability, like what Verdesun envisages. Let's actually go through the platform and talk about the tools and how a customer and a vendor can interact. Just allow me a second. Yes. The presentation. Hope all of you are able to see my screen. Yes, I'm talking to the online partners who have joined us. This is Verdesun, your platform for anything which requires a sustainable solution and anything sustainable for only all the products requirements. So, in the opening slide, you can see that these are the product categories that we are offering. This is not an exhaustive list. In phases, we are slowly developing the product categories and bringing the vendors together. So imagine a world where you have to buy a solar photovoltaic, thermal, UPS systems, or any of these sustainable materials. So it's a long and hard search, complicated. You need to talk to multiple vendors, collect information, compare RFQs. So we are solving all of that in one shot. If somebody wants to buy a solar photovoltaic, all they have to do is click here. Let's consider today we are in Bangalore, so I'll enter Bangalore, state Karnataka. Our system automatically picks up the DISCOM or the supply company that actually gives electricity to this location. That is Bangalore Electricity Company. The data points that you have to provide are very simple. What is your average electricity bill, what is our available roof area, and our system automatically calculates. It shows actually the information. The other tough point in renewable energy procurement is the government policy. So we are enabling you to we are showing you all the details of the regulatory framework as well as our partners. When we go and select the partner, can also help you in terms of navigating the regulatory world. This is what we are allowing in phase one. Probably to talk about the future here, in the phase two, we are in discussions with multiple regulatory authorities. Probably they can also come on the platform to ease the application process. So going forward, our system has generated the requirement what you would need depending on the average electricity. So across India today, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has put a cap saying that depending on the load sanctioned for a building is exactly the amount of electricity that you can produce for an on-grid system. That means you're producing electricity and supplying or selling it back to the discom. So here you can see, depending on the data points that I've entered, is 2,500 rupees. Let's say is an average bill for a 4 or 5 people household. You would require a system size of 8.5 kilowatts. And I'm giving you all the details: estimated annual energy production, estimated cost savings, how many panels do you require, a recommended inverter, additional notes in terms of how can you pay back, what is your payback time when you're selling it. All the details are provided. So let's say you are a savvy person and you are able to design the system on your own. Then we have a tool where you can directly jump in, enter your address. Let's say we say Kavikrest. That's the location today we are sitting in. Immediately our system picks up the location of the rooftop. Once the rooftop is selected, you can create your own project, enter all your details, your address, your site details, your summary and everything. And let's go to the most important thing, the design tool. Once you have selected your rooftop, you can start adding panels. How many panels to be added? You already have seen in the recommendation saying that we have shown you how many panels to be added and what are the electricity parameters of that panel is already given there. Depending on that, you can start adding panels. Design your own rooftop. In the panel addition system, you can also see that what make of panel that you would like to purchase. All the vendors will be listed. You can pick up the vendor that is closest to you or probably most convenient in terms of price and technology and select them. The next component of any solar system is an inverter. This is a very confusing part because a lot of inverters produce different types of electricity at the same time, different manufacturers have different specifications. If you know that what you want, we can always go to the vendor and add the vendor, or our system can add the best inverter that is required for your system. Now your on-grid system is ready. That means you are able to produce and sell it to the consumer. Now, if you like to store the energy and use it for yourself, you need to add batteries. So the batteries are here. Your manufacturers of the batteries already in place. Just select. Our system has already given you saying that this is the best battery for your system. You've selected the system. Now your whole system is designed. You can see it on your rooftop, and now you can go to your online proposal, where we try to provide you all the information that is required. Here is your rooftop. Here is the panel that you have selected and added. This is your solution that we have built without going to any third-party vendor. We have your total panels, your average production per year, what is your inverter rating, what is your AC, means alternate current rating inverter, what is your system performance. We have already captured from the irradiation data across India, saying that depending on any geolocation you are, this is how you are going to produce electricity over a period of 12 months. And this is the savings, environmental benefits you are going to produce. So these data we are capturing right now because in India by 2026, there might be a carbon mechanism for carbon credits. So this data will be very critical during those times. So we are enabling system right now. We are also showing you how the system works, how the solar energy is produced in the panels and fed to the grid, and also partly used to the home, depending on how the usage you want to do. These are your electricity lifetime savings, your ROI calculations. As I already said, we are also giving you how much electricity does your state or your discom can purchase. See here we are given the 7 rupees 25 paisa. We are in Karnataka, so this is KREC, formerly discom, and this is your actually the zone. HT4 is your zone. So you picked up the zone details as well. What is the net financial impact? So you have provided the net financial impact details as well. What is the net savings? And the whole quotation is ready. All you have to do is click, the material at your doorstep. We will also provide integrators in case you want to use integrators to install your product. This is one way of purchasing a solar product from Verdesun. So let's assume you don't want to build your own and you want to find a vendor who can do the complete integration for you. As soon as the system recommendation comes, here you have vendors in your geographical location who are best suited for your product. So once you select multiple of them, then say you can request the quote. Once you have requested the quotes, you can compare the quotes. Here are the quote details. Multiple vendors are providing multiple quotes, and they also have given delivery time, warranty, terms and everything. You can look at each quote in detail. What all the equipment are they providing? What are the integration charges? And everything is provided here, including your GST. Terms and conditions, acceptability policy, regulatory things, everything is given. Let's say you select and accept this customer, the vendor. The next process starts. You make the payment, the shipping happens, installation can be scheduled through a platform between the vendor and the customer. The installation happens, installation is verified, and the project is complete. This is how simple it is right now to buy a solar photovoltaic or rooftop system. Similarly, every household probably today would require a solar thermal or water heating solution. Same way, the customer can just enter the details. What is your daily usage? How many occupants are there? What are your needs and locations? And system will calculate and give you a recommendation. And then the vendors will be there who are ready to cater for you, and immediate purchase is possible. Same process for the UPS, any home UPS. We are also asking them what type of load, so that we can calculate accordingly. So there are different type of loads require different type of UPS system sizing and also rating. So some might be 3-phase, some might be 2-phase or single phase. So we already are asking you exactly what type of system do you need. All that you have to do is enter the details and provide the recommendations on the vendors which are mapped out, and you can directly do the purchasing. So in the phase 1, we are enabling solar photovoltaic, thermal and UPS system calculators as well as the related vendors for that region. So in the coming phases, we expect bringing in electrical vehicles, energy efficient applications, building materials for both contractors and as well as architects, and also individual customers who want to source sustainable materials to us. So consulting practice is given for your apartment complexes who would like to actually move on to renewable energy. So they can schedule apartment consultation with the vendors. We're enabling building management systems software, building automation system software vendors to come here. They will provide a complete solution, integrate, measure, match, and give you a complete solution. So in the future, when we are talking about why do we need to measure, we had shown details saying that how much are you going to produce over a period of time, how much is the excess. So we expect India to actually move towards power trading peer to peer. Like today we are transacting on a phone pay where you can send 100 rupees to your friend. Probably tomorrow you can sell the excess power what you have produced. So that trading platform, we are keeping it ready. As soon as the system comes in place, your measurement is ready. All you have to do is click and enable it. In the future, the one more system of bill parsing also will be enabled. Here you can see you can upload your electricity bill rather than entering the details. If somebody says, I don't know what my system is, I'm unable to read technical data, all you have to do is upload your bill, our system will parse, our AI system will automatically generate the recommendations for you. So gentlemen, so this is our platform. As again, I'm re-emphasizing saying that we are going in phases. So we will be live today at 12 o'clock with the first phase of build with limited products and limited vendors. As we go through the journey in the coming months, we are planning to enable the complete product list, and we'll have thousands upon thousands of vendors coming in. As a point of note, right now we are enabling the vendors within Karnataka as a phase one. So as the phase grows and the vendor grows, we go throughout South India, then probably we'll launch across India. So similar platform for B2B is also being planned. So B2B, the challenges are different. Here we're talking about retail customers buying smaller systems. So in the larger space, the RFQs have to be automated. The procurement team requires a lot of help technically actually figuring out what is the solution I require. So our AI system with just a keywords, let's say a business which requires a 1 megawatt of rooftop space. They all need to enter is, I need to purchase a 1 megawatt of rooftop space. Our system will ask them the specific questions. What is the size of your rooftop space? What is the geolocation? What is your current electricity scheme? If they enter all those details, the system will generate the complete automated RFQ for you and also map out the vendors who are actually capable of installing that and also maintaining it. The major challenge for companies today, let's say 1 megawatt, it costs about 3 or 4 crores in terms of investment. So if they start sending out to every vendor who is not financially capable of doing that project, they are wasting a lot of time evaluating so many of these proposals. So our system eliminates and identifies the top 5 or top 10 vendors. RFQs go to them. When they send the quotation, our system will actually parse the data and also provide you exactly saying that what is required as the quotation is according to the scheme, as we given all the details, and give the complete summary of the quotation to the procurement team, which helps them to identify, complete the purchase process, monitor the complete project plan in our system, and execute the project. So B2B is also coming in next couple of months. We hope all of you also join us for the product demonstration of that. So this is what the product flow and the details of Verdesun app. Let me go back to the original presentation. Just share it on the screen. I would request Mr. Bhaskar to talk about technology and what he envisages for the technology as part of Verdesun. Bhaskar, please.
Okay. So, good morning still. We are creating a platform, okay, which will enable the growth of renewables, especially what we are targeting in this country right now. So, and I will talk like why and how this platform is different than what is there in currently available. We are not just a e-commerce platform where people will go buy and somebody will sell. We are bringing in a lot of partners to sell renewable products, a huge focus on the solar side, and we will help actually customers, both businesses and the consumers, to adopt those renewable technologies much faster pace. And in that whole process, what I call is Q2M, quote to management, that whole process we will be taking care of. Because this is not just simply a simple buying like a t-shirt or shoe from Amazon. Okay, this is lot more than that. the involvement is a lot more. You have already seen in that product demonstration, okay, where you have to provide some requirement, what you are looking for, what is your requirement in the house or in the business. In future, like you will be able to just upload your electricity bill. From there, we will capture all the key data, and we will actually figure out what is required, what will solve your problem, what that power consumption, what is required, and we will connect all the partners, okay, in that region who can serve your purpose. And then like we will float all these quotations what you have seen, and that will help you to selecting that right partner who can come and install. And that whole process, that code from order to shipment to installation, all we will be tracking in the same platform. This something doesn't happen in any current e-commerce platform. There are e-commerce platforms where you can buy some solar panels or some water heater, but we will be actually providing the end-to-end service. And not only that, in future we will help to manage those platforms. So that will help like consumers, so they will able to track the warranties of the products, when things are expiring. They will be able to connect the partners, and similarly the partners will get that opportunities for cross-sell, upsell to that current customer base. So we are creating a like whole ecosystems for both the customers, for faster renewable adoptions. Okay, because the renewable technologies are coming more and more in the market, and it will happen more and more in future. But we are creating the platform, those adoptions of those renewable technologies from the customers, because normal customers many times they do not know what to buy, they do not have those information, and just searching from the Google, it is really nightmare sometimes, like to figure out what is right for me and how I can buy. So we are helping people, customers, both again businesses and the consumers in future, that they can actually select the right partner, right product. And the product also has a lot of complexities in, because this is a whole system we will be designing, as we have seen. This whole solar panel we will be designing. So we will help to match the right products. So we will be able to recommend. And in this whole journey, we will be using AI very much in all the aspects. We will be using AI to actually track your maintenance, your like power generations, your power consumptions. We will be forecasting, so you will be able to track like what is actually I can get in future, in coming weeks, coming months, okay, when my system is going down and what is the possibility. And that will help the connect the partners in the same platform, and that helps that whole power, because this whole energy systems and the related products are moving into new directions. It's completely moving into the new directions. This platform will help the faster adoptions. So this is much different than what you see, and we are not trying to actually implement everything ourselves. As we grow in our business, we will help our thousands partners to grow in their businesses too. We are shaking hands with a lot of other partners, and they can come and sell their products in our platform. I hope like that helps to understand this technology and the platform. Thank you.
Very well explained, Bhaskar. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, so I will leave the Q&A session. Please leave your questions or any comments on the chat screen, both on YouTube as well as on the Teams. We will be happy to answer all your questions. Kindly visit www.verdesun.com. We'll be live in just few minutes. So we'll end this session now. Thank you so much. Thank you all the family members and all the viewers and all the guests who have joined today. Have a wonderful day and happy Ramanama. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All the best. Will I end the live?